I figured today we should do another showdown comparing the city that I live in to another nearby neighbor to see what city may be best for you and your family if you're thinking of moving here. Hey guys, if you don't know me yet, my name is Joe Skipper and I'm the owner of Skipper Realty Group, brokered by EXP Realty out of Oregon. I serve not only the community of Wilsonville, but buyers and sellers in the Portland metro area, as well as the Salem-Keizer areas. So if you're looking to buy or sell in any of these spaces, shoot me a text or comment below and we can set up a time to take a look at your home or the area that you want to buy in and start you on the perfect track to make it seamless. And if you haven't already, if you could like and subscribe to this page, this would be a huge help to me. This channel is meant for you as a buyer and a seller in Oregon to know all the tips and tricks out there to get you into the home that you want for the best price possible, as well as to get you the highest return on your home if you're a seller. This process can be confusing, especially if you don't do it much, so my team and I are here to make it easy, fun, and maximize the value to you. So once you hit that like button, let's get moving. I live, work, and play in Wilsonville, Oregon. It's a small-ish city in the suburbs of the big city of Portland. So Wilsonville is just south of Portland and officially is about 18 miles directly south of there. So the commute to and from isn't too bad, depending on the timing. The city of Wilsonville is split in half basically by our big interstate, which is Interstate 5. So the getting on and off of the highway is easy and awesome. The downside is that Wilsonville is kind of where traffic begins and ends depending on which way you're headed on Interstate 5. If you're going to commute from Portland to Wilsonville, you're just gonna have to mentally prepare for the traffic. If you're a 9 to 5er, then yeah, it can be bad. Like any commute to and from a big city, traffic is stop and go during those times. Is it unique to Wilsonville? No, every city leading up to Portland deals with this, but it's something you should know for sure if Willie is the place you are looking to live in. What this also means is you can see some significant delays getting onto I-5 from Wilsonville. During the heavy traffic times, it can be a beast to get across the city. If you're going south on I-5 to say Salem or Keizer, then Wilsonville doesn't have a ton of issues. The traffic seems to start at Wilsonville when you head north and stop at Wilsonville when you head south. We're about 30 miles north of Salem, so as to location, we're a perfect place to be to both of those large cities. My wife and I moved to Wilsonville originally specifically for that reason. I worked in Salem and she was up in the Portland metro area, so Wilsonville was the perfect spot for us and still is. So now that the commute issue is covered, let's talk about the city. And look, I'm biased, so if you feel that coming off on this video, then you're just gonna have to deal with it. But I think I'm biased for a good reason. Wilsonville, to most that don't know, it can appear to be a highway type city. So like I said, we're split by I-5, so you have that ability to get off here, grab some food, a hotel, and go back on your way. But for the community that lives here, it's awesome. Once you get off the highway and see the neighborhoods, the parks, the schools, and the other amenities, you see why it's a popular Portland suburb. Most cities have areas that you would tell your friends, hey, don't go there at night, or don't take your kids out there. Now, Wilsonville does have some areas that are maybe not as nice as the others, but overall, the entire city is good to be in. The neighborhoods vary from like 1970s style ranch homes that have good sized yards and more unique looks. Now, in those neighborhoods, there's a wide variety of what people have done to them too. Some are completely remodeled and some are original and allow buyers to come in and do what they want to do them. There are also entire communities like Villebois on the west side of Wilsonville that offer literally anything you could want in a home or a neighborhood. You can get anything from an apartment for rent to a condo for $350,000, all the way up to homes over $1 million. They have tons of parks, dog areas to take your pup to. Villebois prides itself on making that community a walking friendly, a dog friendly, and just a community friendly place. A lot of our friends live there and love it. Now, if you want to know more about this community in particular, give me a call and we can chat more about it. But yeah, Villebois is the big one over on the west side. That community also borders Graham Oak Nature Park, which offers miles of trails for running and hiking. Well, not really hiking per se, because it's not a lot of actually hiking, so maybe great running and walking trails. But besides Villebois on the west side, there are a ton of neighborhoods on the east side of the city, including the Meadows neighborhood, the Landover neighborhood, Renaissance, Canyon Creek, and last but definitely not least is the new construction homes that are going up in the Frog Pond community. Each neighborhood offers a specific type of living, whether you want a modern home at Frog Pond or a 90s style home that gives you more yard in the Meadows neighborhood. Wilsonville provides whatever you need for a home. Now, before we move on from the homes, I will say it's a little spendier to live here depending on the home that you want. The average home cost was about $650,000 last month, which was above the national average and the Oregon average. But you won't regret moving here if you do. That is, unless you like to party. Wilsonville has a variety of bars and restaurants that are fun and can be a cool place to hang out, but if you're looking for like dance party type places or super nice high-end restaurants in town, then you may want to be a bit closer to Portland. The education system in Wilsonville is one of the best, not only for schooling, but for sports as well. Wilsonville is a big 5A school and would be a small 6A school, so they're hugging that line of being in the bigger league sports. But in 5A, they continuously do well year to year in sports. They have a great coaching staff, and the city and community supports the athletics a lot. And the education's good too. The high school is consistently ranked as one of the top for stats in Oregon and has some great graduation rates. The grade and middle schools that are here are also top notch. The community is somewhat large at around 30,000 people, but the schools operate as if this was a small town. They take the kids' education very seriously and want the parent involvement throughout the kids' learning. Now, we've loved sending our kids to the public schools here, but if that's not your thing, there are tons of private school options nearby. We have some friends that go that route, so if you want to dive into those particular places, give me a call. Overall, Wilsonville is a great city to live in. There's not a ton I can say negatively about it besides maybe the traffic or the commute issues that you may have. Oh, and the party life you may not have if you live here. If I was in my 20s, it may not have been my favorite city, but now it's the only city that we want to live in. Now, another great city that is nearby though, if you want a different vibe and feel, is Lake Oswego. Now, I do love Lake Oswego and I have friends that live there, but there's a bit of a rivalry, so if you sense anything off with what I'm saying about it, that may be creeping into my tone. But seriously, Lake Oswego is a great place to live. They're a city of about 40,000 people. Also south of Portland by only about 8 miles, Lake Oswego is right off the interstate as well. So the commute issues are going to be very similar to Wilsonville. That is depending on where you live in Lake Oswego though. They also have a smaller highway access called Highway 43 that takes you away from I-5 so you can avoid that traffic on I-5. But that can get backed up as well, so you kind of have to pick your traffic sometimes. But the city is called Lake Oswego because there's a private lake in the middle of it. Now, I don't want to get into hate mail, so I'm not going to give my opinions on this, but there's been battles over the years with the residents that live on the lake and the others that don't, who gets to play in it. Right now, it's just the residents on the lake and they want to keep it that way. These homes are multi-million-dollar homes, and by making it public, it could affect those prices, so I understand where they're coming from. But there have been recent court cases to take this up at this point, but at this point the lake homeowners are winning this battle. But that's not obviously the only place you can live in Lake Oswego. They have tons of different neighborhoods, styles, and classes of homes for you to choose from. They are a more sprawling city, and their roads can get backed up in certain areas at certain times. But you can get anything from an apartment there to, like I was saying, the multi-million-dollar homes there on the lake. But Lake Oswego is significantly spendier than Wilsonville. According to Redfin, the median home price was $893,000 last month. Now, don't hate on my Lake Oswego people, but it's generally considered a more snooty town, and you obviously need to have some money to buy a single family home there for the most part. But what comes with money is a lot of amenities, which is one of the many reasons Lake Oswego is so cool. They have a ton of really good restaurants and bars, wine tasting, and all sorts of small town shops to go to. They have a really cool downtown area that has all this stuff, and it's a really popular area for not only the residents, but from the people from the surrounding cities. And their schools are good, like really good. But now that I'm thinking about it, most of the schools around Lake Oswego are good. Westland, Wilsonville, Sherwood, Tualatin, all these schools are top ranked in their sports and the education. So just live around the Portland metro area and you'll probably be fine with schools. But seriously, Lake Oswego puts a lot of time and money into their education, so they are continuously ranked as the top school district for that. There isn't a ton negative to say about Lake Oswego. Their traffic in and around town can get bad. They aren't set up structurally for heavy traffic, so people commuting to and from Portland use Lake Oswego to get around I-5, which in turn can back up the city. They also don't have a crazy nightlife, but they do have nice places to drink and eat and go to. I would say that the cost is probably the biggest hiccup with that city. It's really expensive to live there. They do have older homes that you can get into with a reasonable price, but you pay to say you live in Lake Oswego. Everyone in the state knows that Lake Oswego is the affluent city, so you pay to have the zip code. But both of these cities are great. They offer a ton of amenities, great schools, parks, golf, location to Portland and Salem, and are just good places to live if you want to be close to Portland, but you don't actually want to live in Portland. If you're interested in either of these cities and want to talk more about which one may be best for you, comment below or reach out to me and we can talk about what may work better for you, your goals, and your family. There are obviously other cities and towns nearby as well, so I'm more than happy to talk about what may be a good fit for you and your goals. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my page so you can keep getting videos like this to help you make the best financial decisions as a buyer and a seller here in Oregon. Thanks, guys.